Similar to Sonic the Hedgehog, Freedom Planet 2 is about genocide. There's also cat people. Freedom Planet 2 is a fast-paced 2D adventure side-scroller. That means the cameraman follows you. When you boot up the game, you can select your difficulty mode and you get 4 character choices. Lilac the Dragon, Carol the Wildcat, Mila the Hound, who's not only a bunny, she's Cream the Bunny. This is Pal World levels of similarity. There's also Nero the Frost Knight, because Frost Knights are animals. Gotta keep the theme consistent. We chose Lilac because dragons are cool. Yeah, that was the reason. Gunplay. There's 2 types of levels. We'll just use their Sonic the Hedgehog flavors to keep things similar. There's the quick and panicky action stages, and the leisurely and interesting adventure fields. The action stages are incredibly reminiscent of 2D Sonic games. Going fast is key, but there are multiple paths to get to the end. There are nooks and crannies to explore if you'd rather take it slow, but you'll be sacrificing your end of level score if you do. Seriously, this aspect of the game is essentially a Sonic DLC. Each character has their own sets of abilities to get through the 24 action stages. As you defeat bad guys and progress through the levels, you get currency that you can use in the adventure fields to buy items. When we finally bought items at the last level, it really helped. Who'd have thunk? The adventure fields themselves were a lot of fun to explore. Packed with interesting NPCs and some okay minigames, they didn't slow the game down. And they did add a little variety. While I wish there was a little more to them, such as side quests or hidden chests, they served their functions well. Characters. This is by far the best feature of the game. Whether the character is sarcastic, trying too hard to be funny, or just a serious stick in the mud, the writers nail it. The banter between characters adheres to one of writing's oldest rules. Show, don't tell. We don't have to be told that Mila is a cinnamon roll that Lilac has to protect. Every interaction shows us. Nira and Carol's eye-rolling and name-calling is playful banter that shows you that not only are they friends, but that they would rather jump off the side of a cliff than admit to it. Every positive aspect about the characters is reinforced by superb voice acting. Characters' mannerisms seem to seep into the actors' voices to make for a memorable experience. Each character is unique and likable in their own way, and I'm not just talking about main characters and villains. Even the side NPCs are interesting to talk to and have their own personalities that are larger than life. As someone who loves exploring video game worlds, this was a breath of fresh air. All the text was funny or interesting, and exploring didn't feel like a waste of time, even if there wasn't a lot to explore to begin with. Plot. The plot of this game is surprisingly deep. Each villain has their own unique motives. Some are childish or maniacal, but some make you pause and really consider what the character is going through. It shows you that 2 wrongs don't make a right, and just because you're a victim doesn't give you license to do a genocide. There's heavy themes like betrayals of close friends that I frankly wasn't expecting from a game that looked like it had a My Little Pony on the cover. Nira's character especially wrestles with trust issues in a very believable way. While there are clear-cut good guys and bad guys, the morals of each are not strictly black and white, but it's something handled in a very mature and responsible way. Once again, the writers show their aptitude and deserve credit for a job well done. Musik. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a music man, but if I had to rate the music in Freedom Planet 2, I'd say it's pretty good. There's no particular song that gets stuck in your head for an entire decade, but each level's and character's theme doesn't seem out of place, and there are a couple that you can jam to. I wasn't rushing to download the score though. Replayability. If you beat the game with one character, you can take a crack at it with another. There's plenty of save files to mess around with to your heart's content. A fair warning, you'll be completing the same levels just with a different character. There are differences in gameplay mechanics and cutscenes, but the main plot and level layouts stay the same. There's also some extra content outside of the main story, such as discovering the secret ending, rebuilding a museum, or getting high scores on various levels and minigames. But the vast majority of the game is tied into the story. To give you an estimate of how much game you get, it took us about 12 hours to beat the game with Lilac. You can watch the entire playthrough in our livestream archives. The big question. But the big question is it worth buying? Maybe. It's a fun and interesting experience that pulls on nostalgia for pixel art adventure games, specifically Sonic, but keeps you hooked with its charming characters and interesting plot. In short, it doesn't do anything revolutionary, but what it does very well. If you're looking for a modern game that reminds you of the Game Boy Advance era, this is the game for you. And that'll do it for the review. If you found the info helpful, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the outro!